Evening peeps, evening, welcome back to the channel. So tonight we're back with round 7 of MRCs GTTCC, or the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship as it is known. GTTCC for short, apologies. So round 7 tonight, we've got 2 races for you guys. We've got the first race from Sardegna B road course, followed by another race at Dragon Trail Seaside, or also known as Chicane of Death track. Yes, it's going the right way round as well for full-on chicane death imminency. Let's see how we're we get on in the second race tonight. So I still got a little bit of merch available, t-shirts and stickers. Only got mediums and small of the stickers. The stickers are all the same size. T-shirts, smalls and mediums of the t-shirts. Stickers are all the same size. But yes, got some of those available. If you want any, hit me up, darksmoker@googlemail.com if you want any of that, or on the channel, or on the Facebook page, whatever you want. Right, into the lobby then. So I think we've got a couple of drivers who are going to be a little bit late. How many have we got in? We've got 10 drivers in. I think somebody's going to miss qualifying, somebody else. Fat Pickles Bro, oh, he's back in. He was resetting his net, but he is back in the room. That's good to see. So lobby swapped over. We just wait for qualifying to get underway. Let's just see who we've got in the room. Not everybody on track yet. Drivers still joining. So Hirakram, we've got Dylan. This is going to flick around a bit for Buki. P Gibb, we've got P1 Don. Valtteri 82. Jay Enio is in the house. Mocking Weeks is in the house. Fat Pickles Bro. Manny Aff is in the house. Stopped around a bit. Have I missed anyone? Don and me. So qualifying starting then. Let's have a look. Ooh, a little bit misty tonight. Let's hope the weather holds out. Let's put the usual nonsense on for you lot. Let's put the sound on as well. I do forget that an awful lot. There you go. So apparently keyboard options are working again on GT7. Not that I knew how to use them on PS4 and GT Sport because for some reason my keyboard never worked. Not that my keyboard never worked, but I could plug any keyboard in. For some reason, it just wouldn't do the replays. It would only send me back to the start of the race. It's bizarre. So we might have replay options. If I can remember what I'm doing. I think it's Z for the marker. Let's have a little look, shall we? Press that one, and how do we go look at it? That one again? No? Keyboard's plugged in, why aren't working? Nothing's happening. Alright, keyboard's going back on the floor. So out laps at the minute. Sorry, it's not out laps, it's hot laps now. Here we come, first one out on track. Lamborghini for race 1, so they do have to use 2 different cars throughout this series. They have to use once they've chosen their cars for the series, they have to stick to those cars for race 1 and race 2. No swipping and swapping. Some cars are better suited to certain tracks, so you've got to sort of look at the season prior to, you know, kicking off. Obviously, it's got to be a car that you enjoy driving and that you can drive. It's not going to try and put you in the barrier every turn. Oof, we're picking up a bit of a penalty on that one. Won't count because of that one. 25.2 though he put in. Already pushed down to 10th for that little mistake, not helping him out. So let's go and have a look at the front. Have we've not sorted that out yet? The PlayStation can't hold R2, L2 anymore. It is currently Marky Weeks in pole position. 25.3 for him. Let me find a driver. Sorry if this is giving you any kind of epilepsy, but unfortunately it doesn't allow me to switch straight to any particular driver. So we've just come down the start-finish straight. We are hard on the brakes into turn 1. Let's go for a lap with Manny. Got to be careful not to run onto the sand there. It's going to be difficult in on lap 1 off the grid to get through there, through the little S's then. Short, little punchy straight. Again, you can get the opportunity to sling one up the inside there, but you've just got to be careful you don't knock drivers off. Swings it back over to the left. Over to the right then. Big, long, sweeping right-hander. Again, plenty of sand here to be caught out on. Down the hill, through the left at the bottom, towards the right hand elbow, back up the hill. Left at the windmills. Again, opportunities for overtakes up here. If you get any of those little left-rights wrong, you can lose a lot of speed running up that hill. Just give other drivers the opportunity to come through and take those positions. Towards the final turn, another tricky one. It's quite tight. It's got a little there you go, a nudge on the inside. You can see there's plenty of time marks over that already. Drivers may well be picking up a penalty for that. And then back onto this start finish straight. Let's just see what Manny puts in. 26.1 for in 7th position. Going the other way through the field this time. It is now P1 Don holding top spot, 124.9. Let me forget my coffee, people, as I will. Janio into 2nd then. He's got himself a 125.0 on the board. Mocking in 3rd. Valtteri off track in the background. Mocking in 3rd, he's got a 126.3. Fat Pickles in the beast of a Bugatti, 125.4 for 4th. Valtteri 82, just getting himself back on circuits. He's got a 125.6, currently 5th on the grid. Gibb Lamborghini 125.7 for 6th on the grid. Oh, I say that, he just goes through into 2nd, but then quickly pushed down to 3rd. Fubuki came through to take that pole. 6 minutes into qualifying, almost halfway through. 124.5 then for Fubuki. What did P Gibb stick in? 125.0. So they were kind of very close together. Fubuki got any kind of toe off of P Gibb around here. Janio gets pushed down to 4th, and Manny 5th, 125.3. He has just gone quicker. Rocky Weeks into 7th. Valtteri now 8th. Hirakram in 9th, 125.7 for him. What did Valtteri put in? 125.6, lap 2. Faithless Emo, 125.7. 10th position. Actually streaming his race live over there on over here on YouTube. Drop a like on his channel. Dylan, who I did see holding a penalty earlier, but got rid of that. Currently sitting in 11th though. Can't imagine it'll be 11th for long. One of the fastest drivers in the Fusion lobby. The GTTCC is it's one of the biggest race leagues out there. 7 is it 6 or 7 different lobbies open tonight. So the Fusion you're watching with me is like the elite drivers who work their way up to the top echelons of this series. And it all goes by, you know, initially it started by putting in a lap time, then you were put into a division, and then you worked your way up or down the divisions depending on how well you got on that season. So just like the football, the top 4, I think, or was it the top 3 or top 2? I can't remember. Go up if they win, and obviously if you're at the bottom, you move down the table. You know, that's how it works, and it's been like that for what are we now? Season 18. So been going long enough. Very, very popular GR4 league. That's enough for you, Dylan. Back on with current pole sitter for Buki. Don't know why we're looking at Dylan so much. He's not that interested. Not at the minute. Buki then in the NSX for race 1. Coming up towards the line. Let's see what he's got. Just over 1:25.050 for him. Still on pole, 9 minutes into this 15-minute qualifier. Hurricane now puts a good time in 1:24.5, throws himself into 2nd position. Again, I expect to see Dylan move up the field at some point. He might just be burning a bit of fuel off or something. Holding that 4th film now, then 1:25.0, another Lamborghini. Genio in a Lamborghini. Pickles in the Bugatti. James told him to do it, apparently. That's what it says on his rear bumper. There you go, James told me to. Drive on the grass, Fat Pickles. No. James didn't tell you to do that. Mocking Weeks in 7th then. Just come out of the pits actually. Fresh set of tyres to play with. A little less fuel on board as well. Dylan's moved up a couple of positions up into 8th, 1:25.2. Purple sectors though. Purple sectors. Couple of corners to go. A little bit of a wiggle through there. Can he keep that pace? Now he's getting interesting. Towards then the line then for Dylan. Let's see what he's got. And it is quickest. 1:24.488 for Dylan. Sticks himself on pole position. 4 minutes left of qualifying. Then gets nudged down with everybody else. Hurricane in another Lamborghini. Popular car for race 1. There's plenty of McLarens rolling about as well. A few Ferraris in this lobby. And you will see in race 2 a couple of different cars. We've got a Lexus in race 2 and a Toyota, I think, as well. Again, there's a couple more Ferraris and a few more McLarens dotted about for the 2nd race. Again, they have to use 2 different cars. Dom just putting in little blue sectors. That means he's going to go a little bit faster than his previous. Still a little bit misty here. Might clean up for the race. Towards the line then, Don. Let's see what time he puts in. 1:24.956 he's got currently. And it is slightly quicker. Is it registered? Yes, it has. No, 1:24.921. Yeah, it doesn't always flicker straight to blue. So slightly quicker then for P1 Don. Stays in 4th though. Current pole sitter Dylan just comes out of the pits. Another fresh set of tyres to have a go at fastest lap. Fubuki will come in. 2.5 minutes left, probably not. He might get the opportunity if he comes in. He's not too far away from the pits. If he could come in now, get a set of tyres on, possibly make it round. I don't know how long the pit window is here. Let's have a look. That doesn't tell me. 1:24 for all his laps. 1:36 seconds for a pit. No, that's not right. Staying out then for Fubuki, decided not to come in the pits, get a set of tyres on. Oh, he's gone quicker anyway though. Let's have some of that then for Fubuki. What's he put in? A 1:24.456. Dylan's still out on circuit. He's on an out lap. He needs to cross the line before that 15-minute timer ticks over, which he's very close to the line anyway. Put in a final hot lap, might be able to take that top spot off of Fubuki, not if he's driving on the grass. So it's all about this lap for Dylan then. Again, Fubuki's still out on circuit, so he's still got an opportunity to put a faster lap in. Tyres are a little bit worn out now. I see a tiny bit of red on the right hand side of his graphic. Slower this time anyway, but he might just be taking his time on this lap to press again on the next lap. Again, Dylan's still out. A fresh set of boots. Nice ditch attempt then to get that pole position. You do get an extra point in the championship for that pole. You do get an extra point in each race for the fastest lap as well. And he parked up at the side of the track. Looks like he might have got that one wrong. He is just turning himself back around. I don't think he's going to make it to the line though, so that's his qualifying pretty much done. Dylan though is a little bit further back. But so was Fubuki at this point. Oh, Dylan pushing hard then. That might be mistake that causes him to have to settle for second. 4 tyres off there as well, might pick up a penalty. 1:24.711. It's not quick enough for Fubuki then. It is going to take pole, I think, unless anybody else out on circuit can do it. Mocking Weeks is in the pits. Faithless Emo still out on circuit. He's only 1,000th down as well. Let's keep an eye on him. Still just got these little wobbly lobbies going on. Not quite super stable yet. Come on, Polyphony, PlayStation. Oh, Faithless. Where are you going? Picked up a penalty. That's that one in the bin as well for Faithless. So he's going to have to settle for 10th then. So it is Fubuki on pole position, 1:24.4. You can see the chaos kicking off behind. P. Gibb, oof, just goes across the line there with a little quicker time, 1:24.4. He chucks himself into second. Dylan down into third. This is where the chaos is kicking off, turn 1. Everyone's just having a crash into each other. Bam! Just like that. So Dylan third, then Hirokram 4th, Janio in 5th. Don in 6th, Manny 7th, looks like he seems to be targeting Dylan. Fat Pickles in 8th, Valtteri in 9th, Faithless Emo 10th, just trying to creep through the chaos on turn 1. Mocking Weeks back out the pits in 11th, unfortunately for Mocking. Oh no, he's got to cross the first time in line. Has he crossed the first time in line? Now he has. Okay, so no, not 11th and 9th for Mocking. So yeah, once you leave the pits, you have to cross the first time in line for any kind of time that you've put in to register. So yes, making it across the first time in line before getting ready to start race at 1. Mr. Smith, evening. Let's hope it's a good race. Still a little bit misty here. Still might see some weather. Let's see what happens. So race 1 just about to get underway. Half an hour here at Sardegna Road Course B. The lights go red. We wait for them to drop and go green. And we're away then. Oh, it's a false start from Hirakram. He's getting swamped by drivers. He's falling back through the field. Let's see who makes it into turn 1. Dylan comes sweeping through the middle. Fubuki holding that inside line though. Who's got the speed as they come in? Dylan sweeping around the outside. He's going to have the advantage if he can keep it on circuit. He does and takes the lead of the race then. Fubuki second. Hirakram getting a good run, although getting swamped off the line. Gets back into 3rd position into turn 1. Janio 4th, Pete Gibb 5th, Fat Pickles 6th. Somebody off circuit in about 9th. P1 Don in 7th. Weeks in 8th. Made up a position. Manny in 9th. Valtteri in 10th. Unfortunately, it was Faithless Emo who went off circuit. Now in 11th. But still right behind the full field. Not too far to go then. Fubuki gets himself back into the lead of the race. Dylan under pressure from Hirakram. Hirakram himself under pressure from Janio. Let's get ourselves on board with this bumper to bumper action. Come round to finish lap 1 then. Oof. Pete Gibb gets a little move up the inside of Janio there. Came out of nowhere, Pete Gibb. Who else is having a go? Fat Pickles right behind him as we come round this final corner. Everybody using all of that curb. Now then, slipstream down here. Fat Pickles. Look at the speed of this thing. How fast is that? Pyong! Pyong! I'll have you as well. Lamborghini me compared to Bugatti. Through he goes then. Fat Pickles. Oh, he picks up the sand. Oh, Janio's had to go off-roading. Hirakram's getting a drift on in front of us. He's also picked up a half a second penalty. Nowhere to go for Fat Pickles. Now side by side with. Oh, he's had to back off. He's had to back off Fat Pickles. That's allowed P. Gibb to come back up the inside and have a look at him, but we're into a right-hander now. Gives Fat Pickles the advantage. Kicking off here early then. It's Sardegna. It's a tricky course. But already the top 2 have made a break up the road. Let's see how far. Still kicking off the 4th. Fat Pickles up the inside of Janio, who can carry the speed up the hill. It is Fat Pickles gets himself into 4th. Coming up towards this penalty line. Oh, this is going to affect Hirakram's race. There's a lot of cars right behind him. Half a second penalty equates to about a second. Maybe even a second and a half. Now into the... Oh, that's a terrible place to start the penalty line. Absolutely ridiculous place to start the penalty line. Right on the corner as he's on the apex. Ended up in the rear room. It was Fat Pickles, but picked up no damage, luckily. Still kicking off the 3rd. Hirakram not losing that much time. Driver's already exploring the sand on the exit of turn 1. But back up front, Fubuki leading. Still got P1 Dylan filling his mirrors. Honda versus Ferrari then for P1 and 2. Fat Pickles are trying to close that gap up. He is currently 2 seconds down. Have a little swallow of coffee before it gets too cold. Oh, Hirakram coming back 4th. I have just seen Faithless Emo. I saw the Dayglow yellow facing the wrong way on circuit, and unfortunately he's peeled off the track and into the wall, picked up a whole load of front end damage. He's got to fall back then. Faithless needs to get that car going up to full race pace again ASAP. It will repair itself. No trip to the pits required for this league, but it's going to make him fall a little further back while it does repair. It is repaired now, gets himself back up to full race pace, but long way to go for Faithless. So top 2 still pretty much bumper to bumper, just 0.7 of a second between them. Fat Pickles big Bugatti trying to close the gap. Let's have a look. Gets a good view of both of the drivers in front. Not able to close the gap up yet. Loses a tenth actually as they round turn 3. Once that third position back, started to close back up on Fat Pickles, just 0.9 of a second back. He's got P Gib in another Lamborghini right behind him in 5th. Weeks 6th in the Ferrari, Don 7th in the McLaren, Janio 8th in the Lamborghini, Manny 9th, another McLaren, Valtteri in 10th, another McLaren, and Lamborghini for Faithless, 4.9 seconds off the back of Valtteri. Again, car repaired. Is the Ferrari quick enough? Doesn't look like it is to get the toe on Buki and sling one past him at turn 1. Just close up as they get towards the end of that start-finish straight, but not enough to make a move. Fat Pickles has, though, found a little bit of time here, 1.7 seconds. The gap now between himself and Dylan in P2. And he's pulled that time over Hirakram as well, 1.4 seconds. The gap between Hirakram and Fat Pickles in 3rd. Falling back a little bit, 4.5 seconds off the main pack of drivers, and Faithless just losing a 10th through there as well. Lamborghini, oh, Dylan runs a bit wide, but maybe just taking a different line on the exit. Keeps himself on circuit, keeps himself planted right behind Fubuki. Fat Pickles has definitely found something. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Dylan and Fubuki. Hirakram has also found a little bit of time. He's pulled 0.3 back on Fat Pickles as well. Peeling up that start-finish straight. Everybody looking for any kind of toe they can. Fat Pickles pulling at time again on the top 2, down 2.9 of a second. He's within the slipstream range as well now, is Fat Pickles. Just keep it on the grey stuff, mate. Keep doing what you're doing. Purple sectors from him as well for Fat Pickles on lap 6. Starting to stretch open a little bit, then the gap between Hirakram and P Gib opening up to 1.8 seconds. Six got a full mirror of P1 Don at the minute. He's not out of the woods either, but Janio just 0.3 of a second behind him. Manny another 0.5 behind him. A little battle going off here then in the midfield. Pulls a bit of time back, 4.1, 4.2, finds a couple of tenths then. Faithless, unfortunately, not able to find a couple of tenths. Loses a couple of tenths, 5.4 seconds the gap. Lots of visible damage on his car. Top 3 then, bumper to bumper from Fat Pickles. To close that gap right up. Hirakram has made another mistake somewhere, 2.4 seconds back now from that top 3 fight. P Gib not been able to take advantage of that though, he's not been able to close that gap up. Pickles that, oh no, he's gone a little bit wide on that corner. To the sand he goes, that's dropped him, look how far back that's dropped him, put him right into the clutches of Hirakram behind him. But Bugatti is quick. We've already seen him close the gap on those two drivers in front. A little bit further back now, but he might be able to do that again. Possibly Hirakram and Fat Pickles end up working together with a little bit of bump drafting. Could close that gap up pretty quickly to the drivers in front. Unfortunately, they are now 3 seconds down. It is a battle for first now. The Ferrari carrying more speed than the Honda down the start-finish straight. Fubuki comes back in though, using that slipstream. There's a look at the inside. Not quite able to keep it up the side of Fubuki through turn 1, holding it into turn 2, so Fubuki gets back into the lead of this race. A little move there from Fubuki. Almost contact. Possibly taking bits of carbon off each other, splitters and spoilers and things. So Fubuki leads just a quarter of a second from Dylan. The battle between these two has allowed these boys to close back up. Look how quick they have. Again, there has been a battle for first, so they have had to take slightly different lines into different corners, which is slowing them down. They are still sort of battling. It's all allowing Fat Pickles and Hirakram to close back up on them. Hirakram still not too far behind Fat Pickles. Maybe just in the slipstream range himself, being able to hang on to Fat Pickles. Now, I think this is where the Bugatti comes into its own on these long straights. Just got so much more power. Chunks down to 1.3 of a second as we come into the braking zone. Hard on the brakes. Look how big that Bugatti is now in the rearview mirror of Dylan. To about 4/10s, a little bit slower through turns 2 and 3. Still absolutely nothing between between these two. Through there, Fubuki just covering off any kind of move up the inside. A bit far back for Dylan to slot one up the inside and through the elbow up the hill. Closer, Fat Pickles, 1.2 seconds the gap. Dylan just having to let off there on the way out of that corner, just carrying a tiny bit too much speed. Doesn't affect him too much, loses a 10th to Fubuki. Now let's have a look here. We're going to see the same again. Dylan's a little bit further back this time, so Fubuki might have the option to cover off the inside line if he thinks about it quick enough. Doesn't dive up the inside. Round they go again. There it is, the Bugatti tucked onto the rear end of this fight again. 0.6 seconds back again. I just think he carries so much more speed down the long straights. The power of that Bugatti to close up. He's still kept 1.3, nearly 1.4 seconds between himself and Hirakram as well. So no mistakes this time, Fat Pickles, just press that thing. Gibb still holding 5th. Don's managed to get his way past Mocking Weeks into 6th position, so Mocking gets pushed down to 7th. Manny in 8th, Janio in 9th. Valtteri managed to get a little bit of a fight on his hands in 10th. Half a second off the back of Janio. Unfortunately, Faithless losing more time, nearly 8 seconds down. In the Lamborghini, I don't think, this season. He's lost a bit of time to those drivers now. Again, always into the pits though. He's coming in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. He's in. The only drivers coming in the pits so far. Dylan then been literally bumper to bumper. They've swapped places once or twice. So they've literally been bumper to bumper for the whole race. Dylan managed to squeeze his way up into first place off the line, but Fabuki came straight back at him on the exit of turn 1, I think. Possibly through turn 2. Again, they have swapped positions a couple of times, but literally been nothing in it between them. Aerogram into third position then with Fat Pickles pit stop. P. Gibb now 4th, Don 5th, Mocking Weeks in 6th, Manny in 7th, Janino 8th, Valtteri 9th, Faithless 10th. Fat Pickles released from the pits. Fuel on now to finish the race, I think. Fresh set of soft tyres to play with. 33 seconds behind the race leaders, 14 seconds behind Faithless. So he's just got to put in lap after lap of qualifying time sort of laps. These two going for it again. Lap 12. This 30-minute race. Neither of these drivers decided to stop yet. Both got plenty of fuel on. Tyres not looking too bad either. Aerogram not having the best of starts. He got a little bit of a false start off the line. Did make him fall back sort of 3/4 of the way through the field from third position. Position straight back through turn 1. Just I don't know how he managed to thread the needle, but he did manage to get himself straight back up into third. Then we had super fast stay off that sand, but we had a super fast Fat Pickles bro in that Bugatti. Just charge his way forward. Let's see how he's getting on. How close. He's already taken a 2.5 seconds out of Faithless. Still 33.5 seconds behind the race leader, but they have yet to pit. Now then, Dylan a lot closer as they enter the start-finish straight. Coming up the hill, over the brow, coming down into the braking zone for turn 1. Dylan not having a go either into this corner. Fabuki to lead this race at the minute. He's quite happily just sat behind him. Aerodrome 3.5 seconds back from Dylan. Any kind of podium position tonight. Was holding third for an awful long time. Again, that Bugatti of Fat Pickles was just, I don't know if someone stuck a rocket in it, but oh, Manny, Manny, you lucky boy. I think I just saw him dip a wheel on the sand on the way out of that corner. The side of Manny's car instead of the front. I thought he was off into the wall, but he's managed to gather it up. Lost the position to Mocking Weeks, but not long got past him. Still, Manny comes in the pits this lap. He's getting rid of the softs, putting in some fresh fuel as well. So just 2 drivers pit so far. Oh, apologies. 3. Valtteri's been in, just come out. Fat Pickles makes up a position then. He's made up half a second on the race leaders. It's down to 33.1. It was 33.6. He's going to take another position off of Manny here. Manny's in the pits. Just comes out in front of him, but Fat Pickles carrying all the speed down the start-finish straight into 9th. See whether that early stop benefited him. He came in pretty much at the halfway point. Most of the drivers have left it a lap or 2 after. come out of the pits then. Fresh set of boots on. Plenty of fuel for the rest of the race. Fubuki has found a bit of time. Possibly a little mistake from Dylan. I think that is right because he's fallen back towards Hirakram. So Fubuki gains a little bit of time. 1.3 seconds. Drops the toe for Dylan. Won't be happy about that. He'll want to stick right to Fubuki. Loses a couple of tenths through turn 1 there, Dylan. Have to start pushing if he wants to close that gap back up. Hirakram just 2.3 seconds behind him now in third. P-Gib fourth. Uneventful race for P-Gib so far. He's not been able to close. It's been pretty much 1.8 seconds between him and Hirakram for a lot of the race. I think Dom's slowly closing up. He's just a second behind him at the minute in that McLaren. Taking a little bit of time out actually, Dom. P-Gib's tyres slightly worse for wear than Dom's. Gap does bounce back up to a second though. Weeks in that 6th, Janio 7th. Faithless 8th. Wide through there, but keeps it out of the sand. Fat Pickles in 9th. Actually only 9.7 seconds behind Faithless. Manny, unfortunately, has made another mistake somewhere. Oh no, he hasn't. I think Manny's just come in for fuel. He's going to stick with the same tyres for the rest of the race. We have only got 8 minutes to run. His tyres don't look too bad, but going to be falling apart by the time the checkered flag goes down. And then Valtteri has also stopped, sitting in 11th, 18 seconds behind Manny at the minute, but see if those soft tyres can work in his favour. Again, he's got exactly the same car as Manny. Super fresh tyres, exactly the same amount of fuel on board. Can he make it work, Valtteri? So Fubuki's held on to his great big lead then, 1.7 seconds. Oof, that's not going to help him. Unfortunately, Dylan has found himself a penalty somewhere on this circuit. He's going to have to lose that. You've seen the stupid place they've put the start. Look at this. Right, come around this corner. Oh, there it is, right on the apex. Bam. Right. You muppets. Should have done it like here. Muppets. Now, that's a penalty loss. Hirakram gets a look for P2. Carries the extra speed up the inside for Hirakram. Braking slots one up the inside into second then. Moves down into third. Now, Fubuki. Battle going on for second. With Dylan's penalty loss, he's now got 2.5 seconds of clear air between himself and second. Now, what's Dylan going to do? Can you all go another 6 minutes with no stops? Ooh, I don't know. They might be trying though. Dom won't be doing it. He's got to come in. He pits at the end of this lap for fuel. There are the top 3, not too far in front of him actually. 4.4 seconds, but that's all going to be thrown in the bin when he comes in the pits. Week's 5th again, not stopped. Janio not stopped. P-Gib not stopped. Faithless not stopped. Fat Pickles has stopped, came in early, fresh set of softs and a little bit of fuel he put on board. Still closing up on Faithless, still taking time out of the leaders, but not as much as he'd like. He did have a 2-second chunk that he'd taken out of their lead. It drops back to 31. Okay, so Dom is in the pits now then. Give Fat Pickles and Faithless another position. There he is. And fresh tyres as well, why not? Janio runs a little bit wide through there. It's a wheel on the grass. That brings P Gibb right behind him. P Gibb's made a mistake though. He was running 4th. Now 6th. You've not been in the pits. Oh no, P Gibb. No, P Gibb. Stop it. Stop it. Drift. Go on. Make it look good. P Gibb. Oh, shame. I thought you were going to hold that. No, unfortunately, P Gibb gets a little bit wayward through there, sticks the car into the wall and picks up a little bit of damage for his trouble. His front right is absolutely battered. That's probably what's causing him most of his problems. Faithless Emo not too far behind him now with that little mistake, just 3.1 seconds back. Pickles in that Bugatti, just another 5 seconds behind him. Don back out the pits in 9th, fresh set of tyres to play with. Manny, who's not stopped, is still 10th. Valtteri not managing to gain any positions through the other drivers stopping yet. With only 4 minutes remaining, I can't see anybody else deciding to come in the pits. Well, not unless they absolutely desperately need fuel, but Dylan managed to get himself back into 2nd position. Hirokram 3rd. Everybody's tyres looking very similar. Fubuki's actually looking the best out of all of them. Oh, Fubuki! Oh, Fubuki manages to keep it pointing in a straight line across the grass and the sand, but that's going to have lost him a great big chunk of time as they come down towards this elbow. Pressure's on now then for Fubuki. Oh, he's drifted it through there as well. They're all Hirokram. Oh, he does manage to keep it pointing in a straight line as well. Fubuki that still leads only by 0.7 of a second now from Dylan. Hirokram has fluffed it up a little bit. He's dropped himself to 1.2 seconds behind Dylan. Drops him out of that tow range. Close enough now then Dylan. Hirokram too far back. Fubuki's going to hold on to it for this corner at least. Bringing the time down then Dylan, 0.5 of a second. Hirokram still 1.4 seconds behind this pair. 28 minutes into this 30-minute race then. Let's go and see what else is happening on circuit. Hirokram not able to close the gap up yet. Janio holding 4th position but running out of fuel. Should be able to make another lap. Should be about all he puts in. Mocky Weeks not too far behind him. Again, everybody looking dangerous on fuel. Faithless Emo holding that 6th position at the minute. Fat Pickle still closing up, just 2.7 seconds behind him. His 2nd set of tyres are already showing big chunks of wear. That Bugatti is a big heavy car. P Gibb, tyres, front right tyre broken. Almost out of fuel as well. Don, fresh tyres, running out of fuel, but again coming to the last lap here. Manny, no stop for him, sitting in 10th. Valtteri also came in, stuck a set of tyres on, but unfortunately that has left him a long way back in 11th. Dylan, Fubuki, what has happened? Fubuki has made a mistake. Dylan has managed to get himself back in front. So while we were looking at everybody else on circuit, down the start finish straight, Dylan had managed to get himself tucked right under the rear wing of Fubuki's Honda and got the move, but that has slowed them down enough that Hirokram's back involved in this fight. Just 0.8 of a second in it between the top 3. 30 seconds remaining. Will they see another lap? Have they got enough fuel on for another lap is the next question. seconds left. I don't think is in the lap, I don't know. But it is Dylan leading this trio at the minute. Runs a little bit wide through there. Here, Fubuki might be able to close up on him. Oh, no, but it is going to be Dylan that takes the win. And there it is. Dylan does take the race win here. That's a good fight between Dylan and Fubuki. But Dylan coming out victorious after the 30 minutes. Fubuki second. Hirakram tried his hardest to get back and take more positions. But yeah, he's got a foot on the podium. He's sitting in third position in race one. Again, not having a great start, did Hirakram. Janio takes fourth. He'll be happy with that. Mocking Weeks at fifth. Closed up on Janio a little bit. Faithless Emo holds on to sixth. Fat Pickles, who's that? Faithless Emo, yeah, out of fuel for Faithless. Fat Pickles did have a little bit more on board, but not able to take that position off of Faithless. P-Gib takes 9th. Don takes, P-Gib takes 8th. Don takes 9th. Manny takes 10th. And Valtteri just coming up to the line for 11th. Backwards across the line for 11th. Yeah, a real good battle between Fubuki and Dylan. They were less than half a second pretty much for the whole race. A couple of moments where they'd split apart to about a second and a half. But they were able to close the gaps back up on each other, and eventually Dylan coming through to take that win. That's a good point. I've not even been through the points yet, have I? Did go through points through qualifying. I've got them open in front of me. So prior to that round, Dylan was already leading with 236 points. Oh, that's not what you meant to be doing. Stop doing that. That's not what you meant to do. That's what you meant to do. But he's got himself a few more points on the board, which just extends his championship lead. So he's sitting on 236 points then, Dylan. Second place is Fubuki. He's on 169 points. We've got Mocking Weeks in third with 151 points. We've got Don in fourth with 133 points. Hirakram in fifth with, what have you got, Hirakram, 130 points. Fat Pickles nipping at his heels with 128 points for sixth. Faithless Emo, seventh. He's got himself 126 points. Manny, let's have a look. He's got 94 points on the board. Got Janio with 75 points on the board. This is all prior to the race you've just watched. LFC fan not racing tonight, but he is sitting. Where are you? I've lost you now. He's sitting in 10th. He's got himself 67 points on the board. Again, not racing this week. Valtteri sitting in 11th. He's got 66 points on the board. P-Gib in 12th with 63 points. And then we've got V-Show, who we've not seen for a couple of weeks. Total Rose, who we've not seen for a few weeks. And Potter McPot, who we've not seen for a few weeks, on 28, 14 and 9 points respectively. But again, after this race, Dylan just stretches his lead out in the championship. On half of the table. So on for a championship win then, Dylan. We have only got one round left next week. We have got one more race left for you lot tonight. Don't worry about that. We've got Dragon Trail Seaside, as you can see on the circuit now. Let's see who's out on track and who's going to give us a Chicane of Death special. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Perfect timing. Ooh, tentative through there. Tentative through there from Valtteri. Again, Chicane of Death. It's not Fubuki, sorry, it's the orange livery. Chicane of Death, catching lots of drivers out. I'm known for it myself. So you'll see every driver in a different car for race 2. Fubuki was in the Honda for race 1. The NSX is now in the McLaren. Faithless Emo was in a Lamborghini, now in a Toyota. Hirakram was in a Lamborghini, now in the Lexus. P-Gib was in a Lamborghini, now in a McLaren. Fat Pickles was in a Ferrari, now in a McLaren. Don was in a McLaren, now in a Ferrari. Manny is in a Ferrari, was in the McLaren. Mocking Weeks has gone McLaren, was in Ferrari race 1. And Valtteri has gone for the Honda NSX in race 2, was in the McLaren in race 1. So let's do a little lap on board then. Just got through a little kink right down towards pretty much what we would call turn 1, which is one of the tightest chicanes on the circuit. It's pretty much all this track is. It's 3 almost hairpins with 3 varying degrees of danger chicane. So through the little right hand kink down towards the first of what is almost a hairpin. Back on the power over the hill, dropping it down towards the left hander at the bottom. Biggest of the chicanes through here. It can carry a lot of speed, but you can get it completely wrong as well. Easy to get this one wrong and run yourself quite wide off circuit there onto that sand. Through the little left hand kink, then over the brow down towards the second of the hairpins. Almost hairpins hard on the brakes for this one. Track tightens up a little bit on the way through there. Power early for Valtteri down towards the chicane of death then. So the first part not too bad, you can carry a lot of speed through here, plenty of curbs to use. But this second part already into the wall then for Valtteri, and catches the exit as well. There you go. Could have been worse. He could have continued on with full speed into the front facing brick wall, but he managed to graze himself off and get the brakes on. Full tilt into it. So final hairpin, this brings us back round onto the start finish straight. A little kick to the left and across the line. Yeah, there'll be opportunities for an overtake down into turn 1, that's for sure. Death, full tilt by Janio, keeps it out of all the walls. A little Toyota GT86 of Faithless. See everyone using the same liveries in race 1 and race 2 as well. Faithless chucks himself back in the pits. Dylan now coming up towards chicane of death. Little lift on the way in, but keeps it controlled. Carries plenty of speed through there, Dylan. Wait while everyone just has a little break after race 1. We get the grid order set up. So it's a reverse grid for race 2 as well. So if you came last, you start first. If you came first, you start last. So unfortunately, Dylan starts from the back of the field. But it has been known week upon week for him to quite easily chop his way through to the front and take the win in race 2 as well. See how he gets on tonight. Again, chicane of death, might say otherwise. Yeah, just still got that slight wobble on these lobbies as they hit corners. Jink, 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 jink. Just get this bit sorted out. Just get this bit sorted out. It'd be 100 times a better game. Get your online lobby. Surely you should know that this is what people are buying your game for. Screw the actual content you've given us. Alright, we've only had to do that to open up the stuff or get money to buy cars. Nah, not interested. I think I've done 9 of the menus. That's all I had to do to get the online stuff open. Obviously I'm not driving, I'm not racing, so I don't need cars. Everybody I know, they come on, they go online. They might do an odd little time trial challenge if it's quite good, but the game itself, meh. It's all about the online. This is what people have bought your game for. PlayStation online racing against mates and strangers. Clean racing as well, that's what we expect. One of the rules in this lobby, we've not seen it in race 1. Hopefully we won't have to see it in race 2 either. I think that's lobby just being reset. Oh no, we're kicking straight off into race 2 then. Sun's glaring here then at Dragon Trail Seaside. Lights are going on. Gone green then. It's no false starts this race. So it is Valtteri leading us down towards turn 1. Let's see what happens through here. Tricky corner turn 1. Everybody will be looking for positions. All gets super tight. Oh, a little bit of contact between P-Gib and Valtteri. Just nudge into Don, but it looks like everyone's managed to get through there pretty cleanly. Yes, they have. Everybody get through there cleanly. Mocking Weeks, I think, coming off a little bit worse than everyone else. Gets moved to the back of the field. So through first ahead, Valtteri leads. Don second, Manny third, Janio fourth, P-Gib fifth, Faithless sixth, Pat Pickles seventh, Fubuki in eighth, Dylan ninth, Hirakram in. Oh no, Hirakram just moving up past Dylan. Coming back at him though, up the inside through the second part of that chicane. Around the outside as they come over the top. Carried the speed as well, gets himself past Fat Pickles, keeps himself in front of Hirakram. He's looking for a way through there as well. Now we come down to chicane of death. This is where it all might get a little bit messy. Drivers very, very close together. It's only going to take one tiny little nudge of the wall. Oh, there you go. Oof. Everybody managing to get through cleanly, I think. Oh, there's another driver in the wall. Was that Valtteri? Yes, I think it was. Maybe getting the exit a bit wrong. Picking up a great big penalty. Flipped through cameras far too quickly. Who's got tangled up at the chicane of death then? Mocking Weeks, Valtteri and P-Gib, unfortunately. 9th, 10th and 11th, a long way back. Yeah, I think Valtteri had got it wrong on the exit, pinned himself into the wall. P-Gib, we saw him get it wrong on the way into the chicane of death. Unfortunately, Mocking Weeks had absolutely nowhere to go and fired himself into the back. I think P-Gib, this is what I was just about to say, one of the rules we sort of abide by in the racing is if you cause somebody else to go off track, it doesn't matter, they're tough luck, pull over, drive slow, let them catch up, retake the position off you, crack on. You know, okay, if it puts you at the back of the field and it's 20 seconds away from the rest of the pack, tough, that's what it cost you for causing an accident. Does help promote better driving. Janio gets himself into the lead of the race. It's kicking off at fourth, third behind though. Faithless Emo and Fubuki fighting for that one. Dylan squeezes one up the inside of Faithless as well. Not letting Fubuki out of his sights for race 2. Emo getting pushed down. Unfortunately, Hirakram not able to get through that little field, so he's got a tiny buffer between himself and the other fast driver. Oh, Faithless gets a wiggle on. Left a little bit of a door open for Hirakram to carry the speed through. So fall back into 6th position then, Faithless. Manny not too far behind him as well in 7th. little bit of a gap back to Fat Pickles in 3.3 seconds. And we've got the Mocking Weeks, P Gibb, Valtteri, Pack trying to close back up. McLaren then racing for 9th and 10th. Honda NSX trying to close the gap up at the back. Up front though, it is Ferrari leading. Janio holding top spot, Don in second. We've got McLaren in third and fourth, Fubuki and Dylan. A good race between them this time if they're both using the same car. Hirakram trying to close that gap back up, just a second back. Faithless Emo not too far back either, 0.8 of a second is 6. And closing up on him. The Ferrari looking pretty good here then at Dragon Trail. Fat Pickles in the McLaren. A little bit of a lonely race at the minute, 4.3 seconds in front of Manny, 2.9 back to P Gibb. He has managed to get back past Mocking Weeks though. Valtteri trying to close back up, 2.2 seconds down at the minute for Valtteri. So the battle is on. Don carries the speed through, takes first. Janio takes second. Fubuki and Dylan for any way through. Dylan takes a massively wide line through there, tries to get himself up the side of Fubuki. Trying to use the slipstream, but unfortunately Fubuki's got that slipstream off of Janio. Janio is carrying the slipstream off of Don in first. Still Ferrari, McLaren. Still trying to close back up, 1.5 seconds back now. Again, these top 4 drivers all had a little bit of help. Top 3, so second, third and fourth, but have had a bit of help off of Don, dragging him down the start-finish straight. Keeping it tight then, the top 4. Hirakram loses a 10th, drops down to 1.6 seconds. Got Faithless Emo closing up on himself as well. Everybody's streaming across track looking for any kind of tow as they run down towards the hairpin. Fubuki's trying to squeeze one up the inside of Janio. He's got it a little bit wild though. It's going to slow him down. Can he hold on to that third? Don't think he can. Dylan is going to be carrying too much speed and through he goes. Now chicane of death. Everybody taking their time through there. Nobody wanted to get it wrong. Dylan gets a bit of a swap on through there, but manages to hold it. Fubuki started to fall off this fight then. He's now 1 second back. Dylan carrying the speed out of the chicane of death. Squeezes up the inside of Janio through the final turn. Who's going to carry the speed out? It is going to be Dylan. 1-2 second. Janio's got himself right behind Dylan though. Might be able to use the slipstream to get back past. Dylan just in the slipstream of Don in front though. Dylan takes a slightly central line to try and fend off any attack from Janio. It's worked for the time being. Now, can Dylan get that time down between himself and Don in front? He is doing that. It's down to half a second. Fubuki will be wanting to get past Janio pretty quickly. He's got Hirakram and Faithless Emo closing up on him. And they are just coming over the brow of the hill in the silver Lexus and the yellow Toyota. Now then, a quarter of a second between Don and Dylan down towards this second hairpin. Don's gone a little bit defensive. Chance for Dylan into the hairpin, not able to carry the speed on the way out. He's not going to have an attempt into chicane of death, that's for sure. It could end both of their races very, very quickly. Right behind the first place driver at the minute. Now should get a good run on him down towards this final turn. Don't think Don's going to be able to defend this. Dylan just carrying all the speed down here, then using that slipstream side by side with his P1 stable mates. And there you go, Dylan into the lead of the race. Race 2 from the back. Oh, why not just stick a faster slap in as well, Dylan? Eh? 1:45.2 for the pleasure. More points on the board for Dylan. So Don holding second. Janio holding third. Fabuki's made another mistake. Hirokram's got himself back up into 4th position. Oh, Fabuki! Ooh, he got a little bit sideways through there as well. Kept it pointing straight. So did Fabuki. Get chicane of death all wrong. Maybe not picking up damage, but falls down the field into 5th then. Manny not too far behind him. Faithless Emo not too far behind him either. P-Gib, where are you, P-Gib? There you are. In 8th, being harassed at the minute by Fat Pickles in another McLaren. Brow down towards the 2nd hairpin we go then. Can Fat Pickles carry enough speed down here? No, P-Gib holds it. Marking Weeks in 10th then. Again, 3.9 seconds off of Fat Pickles. Falling into Valtteri's clutches, just 1.5 seconds back Valtteri. Tyres looking very bad though for Valtteri. Everyone's tyres hurting fair bit here at Dragon Trail. Starting to stretch out a tiny little gap between himself and Don in 2nd. Janio holding 3rd though in the Ferrari. Hirokram closing that gap up a little bit, it's down to his 2nd. And he's through into 5th then. Fabuki 6th. Faithless Emo might be getting this position off of him. Getting that chicane of death wrong for a 2nd lap then, Fabuki. Faithless Emo then up the inside. Both drivers looking for space through there. Both drivers catching a big chunk of curb. And they drop back onto circuit. Ooh, Faithless. Keeps it pointing in a straight line, but unfortunately, that's the fight between him and Fabuki over for now. P-Gib 1.7 seconds behind him now. Pickles not been able to. He's fallen back off of P-Gib actually. Marking 3.2 back. Still got Valtteri closing in on him. Maybe taking a little bit too much curb there for Valtteri. Is finding a bit more time here then. Here's that chicane of death, keeps it clean on the way out, as does Don. Janio drift on the way out, as does Hirokram. Oof, Manny gets a drift on, takes a little bit of wall with him. Oh, so does Fabuki, that's into the, oof. That could be what he seems to be doing every lap, maybe, but he's lost another position. Faithless goes through, Fabuki into 7th. Could be his nemesis track here then. P-Gib right behind him. Fabuki's car still damaged. Going to be running a little bit slower down this start-finish straight. P-Gib might be on for a position here. Down to a 2nd. Don't think he's going to do it now. Fabuki's car will be back up to full race pace. And he does hold on to 7th. Just lose that position to Faithless though. P-Gib in 8th, Fat Pickles 9th, Mockin in 10th, falling down the field unfortunately, and Valtteri as well falling back a little bit. Tyres starting to scream to be changed. 13 minutes in, a lot of pressure being put on these tyres, fast corners here. So Dylan out of any kind of direct threat from Don, he's 1.1 seconds back. Ships in the harbour getting a good view of the race here tonight. keeping it out of the wall on the way in, keeping it out of the wall on the way out for Dylan, as does Don. Gianio through there cleanly, Hirakram through there cleanly, Manny through there cleanly. Faithless gets it a little bit wrong, he's into the wall this lap. That gives Fabuki that position back. Unfortunately, Faithless drops it down into 9th, sorry, so P. Gibbs managed to get through, Fat Pickles has managed to get through. Faithless will be carrying that damage down the start-finish straight as well. Drivers all peeling into the pits this lap though. P. Gibbs come in, I'm going to say that, it's only P. Gibbs and Faithless. Tyres looking very beaten up. Knocking Weeks also coming in. Valtteri stops out. Race leader Dylan then, 14, nearly 15 minutes into this race. Come from the back after winning race 1, so reverse grid started from the back and has managed to make his way all the way to the front. Pulling away 1.6 seconds over Don in second now. He's got himself 4.6 over Janio. Janio's got a great big mirror full of this silver Lexus though. Might be on for a move down towards this hairpin. Not into the hairpin, possibly going to wait. Janio going deep in there, allowing Hirakram through into third. He's got his work cut out, 5.3, nearly 5.4 seconds down from first and second. Already pulling time from Janio. Driving well, Janio, just not quite able to keep up with the pace. Oh, his tyres are absolutely broken. Look at that front left. Might not even make it around this final corner here. Doing it on the alley rim. Does peel into the pits though, and so he should. Race leaders into the pits as well. Dylan comes in, Don comes in. Hirakram stays out. Tyres on the mediums still looking pretty brutalised, but a little bit of life left in them. They won't last for the rest of the race, that's for sure, and he will have to come in for fuel. And he stops out as well, also on the racing mediums. Again, we'll have to come in for fuel. We'll have to come in for tyres before the end of the race. Fat Pickles on those mediums as well. Still holding a big chunk of fuel, actually. Fat Pickles won't last until the end, but Dylan back out the pits then in fourth. Don gets out the pits as well, right behind him, so manages to close that. Takes on a little bit less fuel actually than Dylan. It's allowed him to close the gap back up in the pit window. Janio also been in, fresh set of tyres, just under half a tank. Fabuki in and out, just under half a tank, fresh set of softs. P. Gibb, he came in a lap earlier. Weeks has been in as well. Faithless has been in. Valtteri off. Valtteri, no. So fresh set of boots and a 3-second penalty for the pleasure. What a shame. Hirakram then leading. Tyres just keeping him out of the wall. We see him pit now. Will he run it to fuel? He's coming in the pits this lap. Manny stops out for another lap again. Got a little bit of fuel left on board. Still a tiny bit of life left in those tyres, as has Fat Pickles. So he stops out for another lap as well. Now, where will Hirakram come out in relation to Dylan and Don? Versus Ferrari here as they head down the start-finish straight. Hirakram gets released. There go race leader Dylan and Don, carrying all the speed down towards turn 1. What is the gap going to be by the time Hirakram gets up to speed? .3 seconds. Janio not too far back either, just 3 seconds in 6th. So we just wait to see if Fat Pickles and Manny do decide to come in. Well, I think they're going to have to. They're not going to do another 11 minutes with the fuel they've got. Manny especially. Currently got a 5.4 second lead over Fat Pickles. Fat Pickles has got 11.3 over Dylan. That will be coming down though. Pit window, what are we looking at? 20 odd seconds, 25, 27 seconds ish. So Manny would come out. Where would it come out? 6th, 7th? Maybe 8th. Depends if he took tyres and fuel on, or whether he just goes. Oh, I know he's in the pits now anyway, so we'll find out what happens. Fat Pickles stays out for another lap though. He's got plenty of fuel left on board, still loads of life left in those tyres. It's a lead of the race then for Fat Pickles. Don through Masters Hirakram, gap down to 1.6 seconds. Fubuki, another 5.8 seconds down in 5th. Genio in 6th, just behind him. Manny gets released from the pits on those fresh tyres. Plenty of fuel on board, 2.1 back from Genio. He's got 2.7 himself over P. Gibb. 7 over Faithless, another 2 seconds over Mocky Weeks. Unfortunately, Valtteri 53.54 seconds down now. Having to lose that 3-second penalty as well for Valtteri. Fat Pickles then, a 9.5 second lead. Right involved in this battle now, so just 1 second behind Don. So that's going to put him about 2 seconds behind Dylan here. Can Don defend this position? Hirakram 0.7 of a second behind him. We'll have the toe down the start-finish straight if he can keep that gap. Fat Pickles comes in the pits this lap. That will release Dylan into the lead of this race again. Now then, what has the Lexus got on the McLaren down this start-finish straight? Gap at half a second, 0.5. Not enough to close up into turn 1. Stay the same. Dylan actually pulls out a little bit of time, 1.6 seconds. 7.5 minutes left of race 2 here tonight. I hadn't noticed Hirakram has taken fastest lap of 1:44.809. I had just noticed that Dylan has been sticking in some purple sectors, so maybe on to take that fastest lap back here, Dylan. Time in line coming up just around this corner. Let's see if it's still purple. Nice and cleanly through there. Not much jinking now, it is. It's another purple, half a second up as well. More time on before he gets to the finish line. Final hairpin to go for Dylan, and let's just see what his lap time is when he does come across the line. Has he been able to carry that speed? Can he retake that fastest lap? Oh, Hirakram's all over Don now for this second, and it is Dylan that retakes that fastest lap. 1:44.203. See Hirakram make a move into turn 1. He does chuck himself up the inside. Goes through, catches a big chunk of curb though. Doesn't upset the car too much. Doesn't allow Dom to get that position back. Not quite able to get up the... Oh, has he got up the inside into the first hairpin? Not quite for Don. It was looking good, but he wasn't able to hold that position. So Hirakram up into second. The chase is on then. 3.4 seconds down for Hirakram. 6 minutes to try and do anything about it. He's got a mirror full of Don though. See the gap getting bigger between Hirakram and Don. It's kind of staying the same, 0.5. So he's going to have to contend with Don for a little bit, although he does pull a couple of tenths on him through there. Don does come back at him on the exit though. Fubuki in 4th. Not had the best of races so far, but is starting to work his way back up. 5.3 behind Don, so not too far back. Again, only 5 minutes left in this race, so maybe a little bit too much to make anything in terms of podium positions. Sitting in 4th after not a pretty race for Fubuki. Genio in 5th at the minute. Manny in 6th. Ferrari versus Ferrari for that little race. Ooh, Manny gets a drift on through there. P. Gibb in 7th. 4.4 behind him. He's now got Fat Pickles for company. Pickles has just walloped the chicane of death though. He's got all sorts of front end damage. He's managed to hold on to Faithless Emo down this start finish straight. Keeps that gap to half a second even with the damage for Fat Pickles. And Mocking Weeks just 3.3 seconds down now. Able to find the pace tonight, Mockin, nor has Valtteri. Valtteri a long way down now, 1 minute 8 seconds behind Mockin, 1 minute 33 behind the race leader, this man Dylan. 4 minutes left in this race. 2.7 second lead over Hirakram. He has found a bit of time. He is still dragging Don with him. Found a bit of time though. He's made a couple of tenths up on Don. Damage for Dylan, gets through the chicane of death again cleanly. There is Don. Oh, Hirakram's made a mistake though. Hirakram's found out what the chicane of death will do. Damage all the front end. Don gets back past. Fubuki will close back up. Hirakram's car will repair itself halfway down this straight. He won't be carrying full race pace. Fubuki will. So he's managed to close that gap already, down from 5 seconds to 3.6 behind Hirakram. Won't be enough into turn 1, but it could worry the third place driver a little bit. Doesn't want to make that mistake again. He's got to fight to close the gap back up on Don now as well if he's wants that second position back, just a second down. That has just allowed Dylan almost have as much space as he wants. 4.2, nearly 4.3 seconds between himself now and Don. Hirakram is able to close that gap up a little bit. Fubuki's managed to keep the gap at 3.5 as well. So nobody wanting to make a mistake. We'll jump back on board with these top drivers as we head back down towards the chicane of death. Cleanly, so lobby seem to have tightened up a little bit while we've been watching. We're getting less glitching going around the corners, unless it's just certain drivers, but we'll have a quick flick through there again, perfectly cleanly for Dylan. Don does the same. Hirakram keeps it clean this time as well. 0.7 of a second behind Don. He will get a bit of a toe down the start finish straight, probably close up under braking into this final turn as well. There is Fubuki just in the background, 3.6 seconds back. Why are you showing me grass? Okay, 29 minutes I'm seeing on the race timer. This will become last lap then, I think. Yeah, they've only just hit turn 1, it certainly will. So Dylan currently leads 4.6 seconds. Why am I seeing yellow flags being waved? Who's off circuit? Nobody. Stop telling me things like that, you silly game. So Don holding on to second, but will he be able to hold it as he hits the line? Hirakram is just 0.9 of a second behind him. But running out of fuel, Hirakram. Just got to think about conserving a little bit. No, he's keeping his foot planted. Knows this is the last lap. Maybe fuel saved on the previous lap. Just made him fall off the back of Don a little bit. But this could be the decider then. If anybody gets it wrong in this chicane of death on this final lap, positions could go all over the place. Dylan then coming up to this chicane for the last time. Keeps it perfectly clean through there. Don into the same thing, followed by Hirakram right through. Don goes cleanly, Hirakram goes cleanly. Ibuki through there cleanly. Back on board with Dylan then, race leader. Just this final corner to go. And another, by the end of it, comfortable win here by Dylan. 5 seconds lead by the time he crosses the line. Came from the back of the pack as well. Won race 1 tonight. Has now won race 2 tonight. Don comes home in second position. Hirakram fires himself into his pit crew. Fubuki comes home in 4th position. Manny takes backwards 5th. Janio takes 6th. George P. Gibb closed up on him for 7th. Faithless Emos. Oh, there's Valtteri. Faithless Emo takes 8th. Nichols 9th, Mockin Weeks takes 10th, and we did just see Valtteri come across the line backwards as well for 11th. So there is race 2 done and dusted. Another win for Dylan. That's all we seem to be seeing recently is the winning Dylan livery and overalls. But consistent. Taking many wins this season already for Dylan. Again, we've got the finals next week. 2 more races again set up ready for next week. Let's just have another quick look at where we are. So round 8 next week. We've got Red Bull Ring for race 1 and Lago Maggiore for race 2, or Lago Maggiore as I was corrected the other day. So 2 races again next week for the finals, Red Bull and Lago Maggiore. Come and check that out, make sure you do. It's going to be a good night. I think Dylan's pretty much stormed away with the championship. What's he got now? 2 wins tonight? Yeah, but I don't think anyone can catch Dylan now. He's far too far up the road. He was already, what, 67 points ahead before tonight's races, and he's just taken 2 wins again, plus did you take fastest lap as well? Probably. I'm just going to give it to you, Dylan. Too good. So that's it for round 7 tonight. I am actually back tomorrow night for a P1 We Are Driven special. So we've got 3 different races tomorrow night. A couple of little short 10-minuters and then a 20-minute race. And that's all kicking off at 9 o'clock. So come and check that out tomorrow at 9. I'm back on Wednesday for the next round of the Team Oliver Racing GR3 League as well. Sorry, GT3 League. So the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League on Wednesday at 8:30, and then back for the final round, same time, same place next week, Friday night, 9 o'clock, GTTCC finals. Should be a good one. Again, I think Dylan's already smashed the hell out of the championship, so nobody stands a chance of taking it off of him this season. Again, just been too consistent, far too many wins on the board for Dylan for anyone else to even consider having a go at him. So it's looking good for him. GT Deli B, evening, brother. You should have got in the chat earlier, my friend. It's been a long time. Why aren't you racing? That's my next question. Why aren't you in this lobby? You should be in this lobby. You're fast enough to be in Fusion. Don't deny it. Get back behind the wheel. Stop messing. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from me tonight. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, you know the score. Give it a like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.